Debbie, would you call the roll?
Trustee Anthony? Here. Trustee Calhoun? Trustee Shattuck?
Here.
Trustee Thorpe? Here. Trustee Walker?
Here.
Vice Chairman Reed? Chairman Shear?
Here. All right. First order of business be presentation of grants awarded to A.
Yep, we'll start with 3 Running Club. Y'all want to come down and we'll get them up here and show pictures. Let's start.
You been doing okay? She's going in the wrong way.
Not with me, no. With them.
Sir,
How you doing?
hi, how are you? Congratulations.
Can I get those?
Thank you very
Get
much.
everybody down in here.
Your signature was still on from the last time.
Everybody come on in.
Come on in here.
More bodies here?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I say, let's get you in there too.
We didn't get Susan.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Susan, if we have to be in, you have to.
Bring right in the middle. Don't drop it.
Front center, right here in the middle. Perfect.
Very big part.
You're right in the middle.
Hey, you do
Got a smile, baby. There you go. Here. That's a good one.
Host, we have a little ongoing thing there. Okay, beautiful. Let's get ready. Nice big smiles. It's all through the shoulders. On 3, ready? 1, 2, and 3.
There you go.
Okay.
He likes,
That looks
he
good.
knows I have to, well, I can't.
Get your glasses.
Get my glasses.
Okay.
All right, usually making a face. Authorities, stay here just a second. Swap out. What? I try to spell the best I can.
D-E-W-R-A-N-T.
See how quickly she erases y'all's name off the check?
That means you don't have it now.
Yeah.
It's already gone.
Go.
Are you finally getting enough help in or
If
still?
I ever do a grant, I'll make it out to cash.
25.
So what do you do?
Work everybody else harder.
I'm like,
Unfortunately.
it's very fun.
She looks springy.
Right?
Let me see it.
She thinks she's the Easter bunny today, right?
Oh, just my head. Good.
No, I have leggings on because y'all wanted to spring, but it's
approval.
winter time.
It's spring.
It was cold.
It's spring. You got to smile. You're on camera out
I'll
there.
be here later and I'll show you, okay?
Okay.
You're on camera.
5 o'clock.
Yay.
Here, you do this.
You're doing good, Jeff.
No, I'm all good back here. I'm all good. Perfect. Let's have you slide in just a hair there. Good deal. Yeah, that's good right there. Perfect. Ready? Tall through the shoulders. And 1, 2, big smiles. 3.
One more.
Okay, you're back in front.
No, you're back up front. You're back up front. We're all good.
I was like, who was the fourth one? It was an
Like church people, they're in the back row.
That's where I sit.
I'll hit the fourth. You need
We're a
four
little
laps.
busy, so we had to
I'm too,
take over Daddy's job.
I did, in one, yeah.
One of several.
Exactly right.
He knows how to smile because he's a picture.
We're doing the grant awards. Oh, we are.
I'm
Yeah.
not in charge.
Come on in, Charlie.
Yeah, we were at $100,000. We don't have any more.
Well, don't have any left. It's all gone. That's what we're for. All right, Jane, come on in, right here, Charlie. Get right in here. And I'll go to this other side.
Perfect. That looks good right there. All right, listen.
Take it down,
Okay.
baby.
Let's have a fun one. Okay, on three, everybody do a fun run real quick, okay? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. Now we'll do one. Okay, go ahead and slide just a little bit out. Just kind of hold your arm away so you can get this coming. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Good deal. Lower it just a hair. There we go. A little bit, you all look like you're decapitated from this right there. All right, perfect. Ready, tall shoulders, big smiles. 1, 2, and 3.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Now
Congratulations.
we're done.
Oh, yeah, but, actually, the parking lot, oh, boy, it was a mess.
You bet. Come on in.
Okay, here now.
Okay. Second item is the approval of minutes of the March 29th meeting. Any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll make a second.
Debbie would call.
Trustee Anthony, yes. Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
trustee Shattuck,
Yes.
trustee Thorpe,
Yes.
trustee Barker,
Yes.
vice chairman Lindsey, chairman Shear.
Yes. Financial reports, Jeff?
If you look at page 5, we'll start there real quick. Kind of gives you an overview of our revenues these last kind of 4 years to 5 years. A little bit down in April compared to April of 2020, 2019, 2018. Or 2018 is a little up from there. So definitely up from last year at this time, but still, it's still good, still excellent. So anything in that range we'll take all day. So hopefully it starts to creep back up a little bit. So saying that, if you, one of the pages that we received just today, not in the actual packet, will show you the funds balance estimations. This will, it shows funds available 329.22 of 709,496.81. We did at the bottom of this page show encumbered funds of $103,035.36. So
Which page are you on?
looks like this, Charlie. It'll be something totally separate from what you got in your email. So it would be in that packet she handed you. That, yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll let you get to that page.
What page is it?
There is not a page number on it. It just says,
No.
that's it. There it is right there. And Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, the total encumbered funds, that's what we have left to pay this year through July or June. Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
Is that what that number-
Minus anything that gets approved today.
Minus anything approved today, okay. So we, Charlie, roughly have $709,496.81 plus revenues for April. That isn't included. And then we would, the encumbered amount is $103,035.36 that we have left that we know of for May and June. So we are in very good position.
Have we paid out for the project that's going in out at Washington and the highway? Have we already paid that out for that statue?
Nothing that I'm aware of yet, no.
Did you get the money back from, that you said you thought should be sent back?
And that would be from the, that would have been from the concert.
Concerts.
Concert. Have we received those funds back yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that reflected in here?
On this amount,
Is it reflected?
Is it itemized on this or no?
on our in-house one, yes. The ones we receive from the city are, of course, 2 months in arrears, so it would show up on the March report,
Okay.
which would be next month's.
We're 2 months in arrears.
Our in-house one is the one that's up to date. This individual one that we keep at the chamber that's ongoing. The reports that's in your packet that we get from the city treasurers, those are 2 months in arrears. And so that one would not have that.
This one that's separate from what you sent out, is that what's in-house?
Yes,
So that reflects that amount coming in?
yes, sir.
Okay.
So it reflects the 709 plus April's money's coming in, is that what that is?
Yes.
So how much was in April?
We won't know that.
We don't
yet.
have that one yet.
We don't have that number yet. So the 709 is without any revenue showing for April 2022.
Correct.
And it doesn't include or reflect the expenditures that we're making on the project that goes out the highway?
That is correct. They're not included.
Do we
Correct.
know how
Yes.
much that is yet?
No, not that I'm aware of.
I have not seen an invoice, so no.
I thought we had voted to spend X amount, which I don't remember what X amount was right now.
There was a cap on it, and I don't recall what it was either. I'd have to go back and look. But there was a cap on it. But we have not received an invoice of like what they actually need from us yet.
Would that be in the minutes here?
No, this
Okay.
was approved
Okay,
last year sometime.
okay.
So we haven't reflected it anywhere in our income statement.
No.
Are there any other expenditures or incomes that aren't reflected?
Any other, say that again, I'm sorry.
Are there any other incomes or expenditures that aren't reflected in this number
Not that I recall.
that we've
Right.
approved?
No.
Is there any more discussion on financial reports? All right, we'll move on to the grant for Events International LLC. Okay.
If you would, please.
I guess about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I think I brought it out to Mr. Thorpe and this board when I was here. It's that rugby tournament. It's a group that puts on rugby tournaments. It's kind of a regional site. They were looking for a regional site. So they came down, it's probably a couple months ago, and I took them around the city and then to the ball fields out there. And where Durant sits is a perfect place to host this. They do have national tournaments. Usually, I think they're usually in Vegas, the big national ones. But this particular one, there'll be teams from Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana, Kansas, and Missouri. And they're going to approximately have 360 participants. So I believe it's like 24 teams. And 300 to 400 fans. It's what they're expecting. It's a Friday, Saturday event in July 23rd. Just some additional information that Jeff had sent me is rugby is the 5th most played sport by the country in the world, and it's the fastest growing university sport in the nation. Just in Oklahoma, Texas, there are 150 rugby teams covering all ages, adult men and women leagues. Future plans are to bring rugby back, to the Durant area in the fall as well, if this event goes as expected. So, if you okay this, and I believe it's going to be a real good event because we're going to utilize the ball fields, you know, and it's something that, you know, we've wanted to do, start bringing in big tournaments, you know, to Durant just because of where we're located. So this company also, they put on softball, baseball tournaments. So with the connection, and they're out of Dallas, it just makes sense because in the future with this, I think it's just going to plant a seed in the future to host big, you know, because when they saw the complex, they were just amazed at the complex out there and where Durant sits, you know, in between Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Tulsa. But it's just opportunity to, you know, pack all the hotels, all the restaurants and stuff. So if you know, if you do this grant, I would also, and I believe his information is on here too, you could email him for the hotels. I would do block rates, you know, for these groups. I know it's our busy time of the year, even at the, you know, the casino, the resort and stuff, but you know, a lot of hotels were packed, you know, in July, August, but you know, I think if you do some block rates as well, you could capture a lot of those fans and players to the area.
What age group is this tournament?
This is adult one. This is adult. But I met him. He was out, actually, he's already got it, I think the rental fee paid for the sports complex, and I met him out there yesterday. He was actually staking off the field to make sure how many fields, and it's going to be a really good event. He's going to have some other vendors and different sponsors and sell jersey and all kinds of things. Rugby's kind of unique. I've watched it a few times on TV, but it just brings a different clientele, people that's probably never even been to Durant. So they'll be coming across, you know, this part of the United States.
It's a pretty rough and tumble.
It's something I wouldn't play. Now I love the game of football, but I don't think I would play rugby.
It's rough.
But it looks, I mean, it's fun. It's a different clientele, and I think this will be a very good event for the city of Durant, and I think it'll pack the hotels and I believe the restaurants and stuff, and it's just, I think it could be really good. Then for the future, we could have other.
2 weekends, right?
This is one weekend.
That's on 7-9.
If it goes good, like he thinks it will, and we think it's going to go well, then they may come back and do something else in the fall. But he's talking about even other ball tournaments, you know, just because they've done baseball, softball tournaments, and different things. So it's just a great opportunity.
All right, so they don't do just rugby, so it's all sports, so they.
This is, I think his
This is
key
just for rugby,
is the
right?
rugby. This is just rugby. But when they saw the other fields of softball and baseball and all that stuff, and his wife, Donna, she goes, you think we could do in the future baseball, softball tournaments? I said, absolutely. You know, just work it out with the city and stuff, and it's just a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think maybe this is a good way to get in with these people or people like them that can bring events. That's what we have that for.
Yes.
In my view. And so if we can rent that out for a weekend, it's a win-win for our community for sure in the city.
Yes, especially with this event, you know, because with all these people coming from outside of Oklahoma and to see that facility in Durant and everything else, and we got the lake, and there's just so much that we have to offer that, you know, I think other communities don't. And I think once they post everything on their social media and stuff, and people see that complex and what we have to offer as the city and with Tex Home and everything else, it's just a win-win.
Mr. Chairman, is the council aware of this?
I don't think we're aware of this particular tournament,
Is the
but we're
city
in.
manager aware of it?
Yes, yes.
I believe he met with.
Oh, I see you, Michael.
Well, he met with, I can't think the gentleman's name, Ryan. So he's dealt with Ryan and stuff, so, yeah.
I think the main thing we'll do in the foreseeable future is start looking at putting some astroturf on the infields like that. I think once we do that, I think the people that's coming down would be amazed at that. Plus, you would have to have no cancellations if it gets wet or rains that weekend. So eventually, I'd like to see that come to pass because I think it would impress people even more. But I think this is excellent.
I agree. I don't want to chase rabbits, but we're going to a 3-day baseball travel tournament in Greenville this weekend. So a lot of these, even Denison, the ones we go to, they do have turf, but I think it's something to discuss in the future, absolutely.
How do these fields work with rugby? I mean, I just,
He was out there, they don't go length, he blocked them off going, I guess it was probably east and west. But there's plenty of room out there with the soccer fields and the big soccer field and the smaller soccer fields to, I think maybe have 8 fields, I believe. And then he wants to, hire some of the local youth too as well to retrieve the balls. So if we get a ball team or whoever, for kids to make a little money too. So he's wanting to help out the local kids and the youth as well.
What do you need from us right now to get it?
He's asking for the $10,000 sponsorship. It helps pay for and he's got it broke down, for the referees and stuff and everything. It's not a big money maker, I don't believe, for him. It's just a regional site because, they do a number of these, and I think the big one that they do, and I'm not real familiar with all the rugby, but I believe they have a huge one in Vegas every year too.
I think this will bring in more and more people, and once they come down here one time with the town and with the casino, I think they'll be coming down here maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So I think this is going to be good for tourism. I think it's going to help all the hotels and restaurants and even downtown.
I do too. But I would definitely, if you approve, I would do room blocks for this event as well. And his information's on there, and if you do a room block, you call it rugby or whatever you want to call the room block, I would text him the information before, he sends the flyers and everything out, so.
I move.
I'll second.
all right, Debbie?
Trustee Anthony, excuse me, yes. Trustee Calhoun, excuse me, Calhoun.
Yes.
Trustee Shabby.
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe.
Yes.
Trustee Walker.
Yes.
Chairman Scheer.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next one's, John, you'll come up, do you have anything on the 75 Main Street corridor? Okay. Okay.
Jennifer emailed all of you a copy of the memorandum of understanding that I drafted. It basically lays out that the authority and the city both think that it's good for tourism and that sort of thing for that area around 6975 to be maintained. That's all the memorandum of understanding does, is lays out that you guys agree and we're going to work toward some agreement whereby you'll work together to make that happen. It doesn't have any obligations on their part or any obligations on your part. I have thoughts on how you guys should probably go about doing that, and I think it's kosher for us to discuss how we should go about doing that while we're considering this memorandum of understanding.
Mr. Dean, do you have anything to put in on this? Are you satisfied with this?
Yes, sir. The city staff has reviewed it and been involved in this process, and so we're in agreement with this. So, and like he was going to talk about is the contract is probably in the next step. So I'll let the attorney talk about that part.
So I think the cleanest, easiest way to go about actually getting it accomplished is for the authority to hire the city as a contractor to maintain that area. And that way it's like, we're paying you to do this, you do it. And that way there's not just tons of terms of, we're going to buy a lawnmower and pay you guys X dollars an hour to, you turn in invoices. No, you just say, we're going to pay you guys a certain amount per month or per year or whatever to take care of that. And here's what we want.
Yeah.
And so
I would like to have a grass catcher on those where it picks up the trash and all that, instead of just having it mowed.
And is it just gonna be on that one corridor, or is it gonna be on?
Well, the corridor is defined as from, what's
Yeah.
the westbound? It's in there, but it's,
Yeah, it goes from the south side of Maine to basically where 19th comes into Bryan Drive. Does that make sense? And then it goes east and west it goes all the way to where the median stops, the center median stops down by Walmart, Washington, or University Place. And then it goes to 21st, where the median stops, just before 21st. I think it's really
Sherwin-Williams.
Sherwin-Williams, right? That's where it really stops, that vicinity, so, anyway. And in the contract process, our intent is to lay out what we believe our actual expenses will be, so that way it's in the contract, not a guess of X number of dollars. So that's not defined. So-
Would it be good to have a sketch of the area that we're all in agreement on?
Yes, sir, we do kind of have that laid out. Jason and I looked at that previously.
So that's in the MOU though, right? It says the area, I mean, it's not
believe it-
sketched.
I believe it
We can
outlines it,
sketch
yes,
but
sir.
It's in there.
In the contract, probably the best thing to do is to include that as an exhibit,
Yeah,
as the
sure,
area that will be
background.
maintained. So that way it's specific in the contract.
Still looking at putting ryegrass down and fall to where it looks.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So can we, I guess, Jason, for you, do we have to take this out for bid, or can we just go with the city? Do we have to get more than
You can
one
just hire
quote?
the city as a contractor
Okay.
to do that, yeah.
And are we gonna look at doing any of the other entrances into the city? There's more than just that
Well,
one.
no, that's
We've
what I'm
talked about that before, and Danny and I have, and we're seeing how far this $100,000 goes. And if we start seeing we have some left over, or we can, put some more money in, we're happy to do what, some more interest is coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked
And
about,
hopefully the city can allocate some, take this as a,
You got the other end of Main
Yes,
Street.
starting
you
point,
got
yes, sir.
First Street,
Problem.
there's a lot of entrances
Yeah,
into the
Ninth
city.
Street.
You know,
Correct.
the next intersection up there by the swimming pool is where we're putting this monument. It'd be nice to have that all looking good and green and.
Would that be an option, John, to like quote it all?
when
You know,
we,
like the
to
different,
include that area.
To include
yeah, all the entrances to the city. You know, what would it take?
If that's what y'all's desire, all the entrances?
Ooh.
We can do that, but I know that we currently don't have the manpower or the funds available to staff all that to be maintained like what's being talked about here at this time. So, and I really think that we need to start small and perfect what we're doing, even if it's at this intersection and maybe up by the Unity statue, before we jump out and say we're going to do all 10 entrances to the city, because we really don't know how it's going to impact us completely, right?
Right.
But if we get one or two, we'll have a good understanding of what it's going to take for each one of them. So I would hate for both of us to commit to something that we can't,
Oh, yeah.
And
maintain.
with the workforce the way it is too, even with this money, it's like, get the.
Right, we
gotta
still have
manpower to
we
spend
still have
money.
manpower issues, yes, ma'am. So
Yeah, I get that.
we all do, I think. So
So,
You know, that park up there by the swimming pool was really being used now, heavily.
yes, sir. Yeah, all day and all the way till midnight sometimes. So sometimes
say all
beyond
night sometimes.
sometimes beyond what I hear, but I'm not out that late.
so what do you think the starting point should be to anyone? You'd start out small, I get that, but
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta draw up bid it, right? I mean, what do you think it's gonna cost, and then we commit to a certain dollar amount. If it,
We were
and
looking
we
at
don't have to bid this out for bids like we did the management contract and all that.
They will be putting it out, they're the ones that's gonna be hiring the contractors. All we're doing is giving them the money, right?
The city
We'd be hiring the
is
city
gonna
to do it.
hire whoever they want to do it.
That's it.
Okay.
The way I see it is the authority hires the city as a contractor to handle this particular.
Yeah, so we don't have
And
to worry about it.
the dollar amount that's been thrown around up here a couple of times seems high to
That's
me.
why I said let's quote them all.
Maybe it's not, and I'm delusional, but
If the $100,000 is too high, then you have over there what the Choctaw monument's gonna be on there. We can always add that to it.
okay.
Well, we just need to start.
Yeah, we
I
should have
think I'd
bid,
rather
right? I
have
mean,
it
the city
high than
can
low.
quote what they think it's gonna cost, and then we
We're
approve
doing
it or
this,
not.
we're doing this 52 weeks out of the year. Now, I'm not talking about mowing all the time, but sometimes it's gonna be 10 days, sometimes wintertime, it might be two weeks. But I'm just telling you, we gotta we gotta take care of that first. Once we take care of this, like you said, we take care of this one section right here, by next year, we'll know what else we can do.
I think we should enter the memorandum of understanding and let the city figure out how much they think it would cost,
Right, yeah.
and then tell them they're crazy and they're charging too much and we'll give you half of it.
So you're saying pay them by the month or pay them by?
You can pay them by the year, or by the month, or whatever you want, but let them figure out how much they think it's gonna cost, and then
Yeah, and then, yeah.
tell them they're charging too much. And they can have half of it. Or, you know, whatever.
Well, I mean,
Or
it's
you
a,
take
They need the money at the beginning until the last. He's gotta keep his
Well, we
budget
can give
up.
it to them yearly. I don't care how you pay it. It's just, you know.
and I would kind of like to know, because I'm sure there's going to be parts of this project that are going to cost more this year during startup than it would years after.
Yeah.
And so that if you could kind of in your presentation or whatnot, have in there, okay, this is a startup deal, but it won't necessarily happen next year. It'll be, you know, primarily whatever.
Unless we expand.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's in the MOU, right? It's a yearly contract or whatever to, I think it says in there. Yeah, it's, yeah.
Yep.
So. I'm good.
So we need to put the amount on here to start off with?
No.
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 The idea is just the MOU, and the amount would be in an actual contract that hopefully we'll bring back to you. The goal is next month. So,
Okay. Do we need to vote on giving you the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's got to give,
I think
we got to vote on this.
Vote on it.
whether or not we're going to enter the MOU.
Yes.
And then the next step is to let them figure out how. The city didn't want to go running around figuring out how much things are going to cost and use a bunch of man hours until they knew that this
were
was going
on
to get
board.
signed.
Yeah, I make a motion we move forward with this.
I'll second that. Yes.
Okay. Motion's been made, seconded.
Trustee Anthony, yes. Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
Trustee Shattuck?
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Walker?
Yes.
Chairman Shear?
Yes. All right. The Peanut Time Capsule Kickoff Event.
Should be the second to last sheet in your board packet that came out. And it looks something like this right here.
This is the last page.
Oh, I printed off, sorry, yeah. Those are individuals on my packet, so yeah, looks like this right here. So, Kickoff Countdown, as you guys know, June 16th of 22 is when we officially start our clock, our countdown clock, going to June 16th of 2023, where we'll unearth the Peanut Time Capsule. Last month, foreshadowed a few things we've been discussing, and these are a couple of actionable items that we have here for our kickoff event. So the action today is to approve a $5,000 request for this kickoff ceremony. And what that's going to involve, the bulk of that, pretty much all of that $5,000, is for the securing and all of the avian production setup for Kyle Dillingham concert. And I'm not sure how many of you here are familiar with Kyle Dillingham, but he is as you can see in the picture, he is a fantastic fiddle player, and they have a lot of, there's like a folk music, a lot of Americana, nostalgia, so it's a great kind of energy to kick off Unearthing Peanut Time Capsule. One of the other things that we're gonna do here as well, and Mr. Shattuck is one of the young ladies that works with you there, is going to be, I believe, one of our first speakers. Sherry, I think her name is. Mm-hmm. She is actually in high school and remembers whenever they buried the time capsule, and she has got some very fun anecdotes that she's going to share. So she's going to be one of our guest speakers, and that's kind of the theme we're doing throughout the year. Each month we'll celebrate one of these. They're not going to need nearly the financial obligations. We should have enough from day to day to cover that. But for this initial one, we want to really kick it off right, and that means bringing in a good group, good music. We're going to be doing it over at Lost Street Brewing Company. So they have played there several times, so their music sounds good there. They're familiar with the place, and we can get a lot of bodies inside. They're also doing fans and portacools, so even though it's middle of June, we have some excessive heat. We should be able to keep everybody relatively comfortable. And
You're saying it's 5,000?
5,000, correct.
Is there an application in here for that?
No, this is just a request to use management funds, I believe, to pay for Kyle Dillingham for the group, because they're not asking for sponsorship. We're just asking to allocate $5,000 of funding from the the management
I
contract.
thought we get an application on it, I didn't know that.
Oh, gotcha. No, this isn't a typical grant request. This is just a chamber management contract request to approve $5,000 for expending it to get the band booked.
And
Is
the
it-
$5,000 will go strictly to the concert or what?
Correct, yeah. It's going to go to the band themselves. We've already reached out to them. We've got a quote back for the players, the AV setup and production costs, and that's what the 5,000 is going to.
So it's not any new money, it's money we're already giving to, in our management contract. So-
I do speak very hesitantly without Ms. Reed here to confirm that, but that does sound correct to me. I believe that is the discussion we've been having. It's not an additional money, it's not additional funds. I believe we're asking for the authorization to use 5,000 for this. Now, I do say that with earmarked. I may have to come back and correct myself on that, but that is my understanding.
Well, this is a tourism
Something
event,
allocated
right?
to the chamber, this will be inside that, right?
Yeah, this is a tourism event, so, yeah, this would be coming out.
So what pocket of money does that come out? I guess that's where I got to plead
Tourism
ignorance.
fund, because this is a tourism event, the
So-
Kickoff Capsule, right?
Yeah, I've never had a request like this. I've only done requests through a grant application. So is there I don't believe there's an
I think this is a
application or
tourism-
paperwork to fill out to
Yeah, it's
request it.
tourism money, 5,000 out of our balance.
So we would
Out of
do
the
this.
management fee, that's 5,000.
No management fee. I misspoke there. That's my fault. Management fee has
They come out
nothing
of
to
the
do
budget
with,
For this.
So we will need a grant proposal.
that's the thing. Do we need a grant proposal for that? I don't really understand the financial mechanisms here of how to
We're not
request the
giving
money.
extra money.
So this is going to be similar to the fall concert series. And then, but instead of paying Overdrive Entertainment to do the booking, we will book the band directly. So this will be a tourism event like the fall concert series was. It will be a Discover Durant. So it's not a grant, it's not an outside event, it is one of our events. So it'll be similar to the fall concert.
So this money
So-
will be coming out of the money that is going to the chamber of commerce?
No.
No, to book the
management.
band,
Yeah.
it will come out of our budget.
I
And
don't,
that's my apologies. I misspoke on that.
yeah, I don't understand why we don't have an application for that.
Because
it's
if I remember, it's a tourism event. It's our event that we're hosting, so we don't have to do a grant for ourselves. It'd be us filling out the grant
Yeah.
asking for $5,000.
It'd be like you writing a check, but you asking yourself.
Thank you, because that's where my ignorance is kind of, how do you request money from yourself? Yeah.
Who's gonna be paying for the venue?
The venue, we have coordinated that with Law Street already. They're going to be doing some in-kind with us. The money, all of this money that we're requesting right now is strictly for the band and the production of their music. That's it.
Will there be any charge for the venue?
At this point, there's not. We've been told by Law Street that the venue will be given in kind, but that's why we need to pay for the AV production, because they've got to bring in all the instruments, power the speakers, that kind of stuff. Lighting.
When you say in kind, what are you meaning?
I don't have those details right now, but there is no charge from Law Street for us to use the space at this date.
No mechanical charges or
That's what the
setup
AV
or-
production is for. That's part of the band. That's all part of that $5,000 request, is for every bit of electrical, the sound equipment, and the fee for the band themselves.
The setup and the
Correct.
takedown?
Correct. And they have their own people that do that. That's all part of, just like with the music series, that's all in-house with them. We're just paying them directly instead of hiring a promotional company to do it. And this is the only event we'll have that we're requesting this for. Each of the other ongoing events, we won't have a band, there won't be that need for that additional cost.
Yeah, this is just a kickoff, right?
Correct, yep, this is just for the kickoff, to get the countdown going, get the clock going, and then we'll highlight each month those community locations where we're gonna have the guest speakers, the photos, the Facebook Live videos, sharing the history that's culturally significant to that area as we get down to the countdown to unearth the time capsule.
So all the members of this authority will be in this time capsule, right?
Be in it? I was gonna say, listen to,
I'm buried with it here in a minute.
what kind of depth can we dig on the clovers out there by the off-ramp to the,
That's a joke, I just want to see your face.
you saw I had to stop and think about it for a second, though. So at this point, yeah, just requesting the use of the 5,000 or approval for 5,000 from tourism to pay for the kickoff ceremony event.
I make a motion to approve the $5,000 for the Peanut Time Capsule Kickoff event.
Second.
All right, motion's been made to approve $5,000, seconded.
Trustee Anthony? Yes. Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
Trustee Shattuck? Trustee
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe? Yes. Trustee Walker?
Yes.
Chairman Shears?
Yes.
We're ready for him again, aren't we?
I think that'll be good PR for sure.
Okay. Activity and marketing reports.
So the first report from us will be in a separate handout that I gave each of you before the meeting. Just everything we've been doing since last month, prepping more materials to go out. We're going to be finishing up the spring brochures and starting on the summer ones. The summer ones will go out on June 1st, and so we'll have a new design for summer through that. We did complete a co-op design for the Highway 6975 billboard. It will split with the Rodeo and Magnolia Festival again this year, like it did last year. We did attend the Spring Garden Show in Rogers, Arkansas, April 1st through 3rd. So first time in 3 years we got to be on the road. 2 years?
Can I say two things about that show?
Sure, go for it.
Just very, very quickly, two quick things I want to share with attending that show, which I think just illustrates why it's important for us to be at these. We met two young, 15, 17-year-old boys who were adopted by their aunt because their mother was not able to care for them, who happened to be Choctaw. They have their CDIB cards, but we're having real issues getting their new membership cards because they live in Arkansas and they didn't have all the paperwork from mom. They sat down with Janet for about 30, 45 minutes, and by the time they were done, she had them squared away. She had who they needed to contact, what they needed to do, and so now that's two fellow Choctaw members, tribal members, that now get to get the support they need, and these are two I get to spend a lot of time with them, two very impressive young men, so I thought that was a very telling thing. Now the second one, it's kind of fun. I happen to also work at a shop downtown here on the weekends, and I happen to be just walking in one day to meet with the owner, and I see a husband and wife walk in, just say hi. Turns out they're from Rogers, Arkansas. They were at that show, and they came to our booth. Do you know why they stopped in Durant? I give you 100 guesses, and you'll never get it. They stopped here to charge up their electric vehicle at one of our stations, and then they spent about 3 hours walking around downtown and shopping because they just love the community so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was just, it was great. So they are now turning what used to be a pit stop in their gas car to go down to Texas to a trip to stop with their electric vehicle to hang out in Durant and spend some time and money with us. And I just thought that was cool. Very chance encounter that I ran into people from Arkansas just walking around downtown.
Well, is the fact of the electric station that EVs can plug into, is it on our site where people can see that and know about it?
It's on the downtown map that we hand out to people. It's on the downtown map that we hand out to people.
If somebody's working on our site,
Oh, add it to the website?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
As I say, it's about to be. I think in social as well. I think that's a way to add that in and
Yeah.
notify that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the vehicles, I don't know, but I was talking to somebody that has one, and like when they put in their GPS, it tells them where they need to stop and where.
And guess who their only stop is between Arkansas and Texas that has an EV station?
Okay.
Durant, Oklahoma.
It does that all kind of, they don't have to sit there and kind of
Look for it.
figure it out themselves. I mean, it does that.
That's all right. If they want to spend a few hours letting their car charge and hang out in Durant, I'm okay with that.
Plenty of places to walk around. Let's see, so last thing we'll add is this weekend is the Lieutenant Governor Travel OK Days. It kicks off National Tourism Week. They have events at all of the welcome centers across the state of Oklahoma, so we will be out at Colbert for the event they'll be having out at the Colbert one. Do you want to do social media?
Oh, I guess that's next.
Yep, you can do social media.
Real quick on the social media report, there really is just one thing that I want to address in going forward. So last month we talked about trying to increase followers and likes, and we were going to start doing a paid campaign that was going to start April 1. thankfully slept since then and had a little bit of an epiphany. So Magnolia Festival, which is, we're kicking into full stream with marketing right now. We have a followership of over 10,000 people. What we're going to do is we're going to incorporate with that posting, because we're posting a ton of stuff as we go through there. Well, within that series of posts, we're also going to schedule, if you want to think of these as like commercials for Discover Durant. And within that time period, we can, again, this is all free to organic paid, advertising. So we're going to drop little commercials about Discover Durant for people that just tune into Magnolia Festival twice a year. Our Magnolia Fest in the summer and then Christmas Fest in winter. So we want to bring some of those people over. That's low-hanging fruit. So instead of paying for the paid campaigns now and having that report come back to you 2 months later, we're going to hold off on that and really tap this underutilized resource of 10,000 plus bodies and bring some of those people over. And if we can double followers out of that 10,000, that'd be phenomenal to catapult us to that. So that's really the big thing. Other than that, social media, it's a little bit quiet for Discover Durant right now. Magnolia Festival, it already has an established channel, so we're gonna be kind of gleaning some of those metrics in our next 2 months worth of data, just because it is tourism related, even though it may not be directly on our channel. So I think that's it, unless you guys have any questions or.
This is a different subject, but are y'all aware of what used to go on out at Fort Washita that brought people in?
In what respect? I'd have to claim I'm not sure what you're referring to. Is there any other, like an event?
Well, there was a building out there that had been built. It was owned by the State Historical Society. It's now owned by the Chickasaw Nation. And I think they would probably work with us any way that they could, but they had different reenactments of Civil War, Revolutionary War, and they had what they call the fur trappers.
Yeah, this was Rendezvous Days that just happened a few weeks ago. And unfortunately, that was the very same weekend that we were off to Rogers. I had planned to go out there and take pictures, and I actually spoke to them on the phone ahead of time, but was not able to make it beforehand.
But there's a lot of things that happen out there that, and probably more would happen if we help advertise it.
I can tell you on this personal, that is on my radar. I wanted to get out there and shoot that. I do love the facility. I've shot out there whenever it was in COVID, just from the outside of the fence line. So I know that it's on my places to go and explore. And as soon as we do, we'll have a nice pictorial to sort of spread the word on that.
I don't know whether they do it anymore, but they used to have around Halloween, they told ghost stories out there at night and had tours throughout the whole, and there were a lot of people that were coming to it.
Yeah.
I just think that's something we've got here we ought to try to draw on. And the Chickasaws tribe would probably work within anything that's reasonable.
Yeah, if there's an opportunity to present to the board, I'd love to attack it and put together any resources we can to make it happen.
And I think, Charlie, what you're asking for is just if you guys would
Be mindful.
reach out to them and say, what events do you have this year? We'd like to promote those events.
Do we have a Fort Washita
Right.
contact?
Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say I know that they have a placeholder for us. They're one of our things to do. One of our local attractions is Fort Washita, so I know that there's a lot of good info that's up there already. But I don't think there's anything current with their events because I don't think they've had a whole lot. They're just kind of getting back into that.
There's another old fort up there too, not too far from it. Anyhow, it's got a lot of history that would be interesting to the people around here if they knew about it.
I agree. That's why I'm happy about the peanut time capsule because we're going to all get a big history lesson over the year.
I've asked people to look at the Discover Durant webpage. I look at this local event, and I'm seeing Lost Creek Brewery on here for bingo and trivia and all that stuff. And this is all the way through this month. What I'm saying, if they do that, then as far as the waffle shop that I've got out here, I can have Pancake Day and Waffle Day and all that and put it on here too, right, on local events.
We've got a recurring theme. Yeah, we'd love to have it on there too.
But y'all need to look at this and see what the local events say and see if y'all are happy with that. You know, everybody, every restaurant can advertise something like that, and I mean, and I don't know if we want to do that or not. But y'all need to look at this and see what y'all think about that.
Well, the other restaurants may not know about it unless somebody told them about it.
Well, what I need y'all to do is look at Discover Durant and monthly events and see what y'all think about it. Or we need to adjust it and do something else.
Hey, more events the better. I mean, listen, we're no shortage of people and bodies and places, and we got a good way to get the word out. So, I mean,
And the other thing I brought up the last time is that I know we're doing Main Street. We want to push Main Street. We've got 4 more shopping centers here, and I'm not seeing them pushed at all. Have you got?
can you give me any specifics on organizations or stores you're talking about? And then I can let you know if there are some things in the works.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Northwest Shopping Center. I'm talking about the one by,
Do you know any stores or businesses that are in there that might be? I mean, we don't generally do like a shopping center, but we do individual.
yes.
Do you have any businesses that are in there you can think of? And I can let you know if we do have anything going on with them.
I know, but I know Mr. Trent owns one out here and other ones. They probably don't know anything about this.
Okay. If I guess if there's a business or a point, we don't have like a shopping.
It's gotta be a shopping center. It's got to be a business.
Yeah, exactly. If they got a business or if
Maybe y'all could get in touch with the shopping centers and suggest it, you know, to the owner of the shopping center that we have this to where they can be on there. All of the people that are contracting out to them for the shopping space.
I think what I'm hearing him saying is we need to get a cultivator out and start cultivating it.
hey, I mean, listen, I'm all about that. If we have a legitimate reason and a good point of contact to start a discussion with, I'm not opposed to picking up the phone and getting that started.
Good.
I'm always looking for a reason to get out and leave my duties at the office behind.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Do we have a report from the Choctaw Nation?
Yes. So they emailed for their report, same thing, they will be out at the Colbert Welcome Center this weekend for the Lieutenant Governor Days. So it will be us, Choctaw Tourism, Choctaw Casino Resorts, and the Cultural Center. And their upcoming concerts in Durant is Brett Young, May 21st, Casey Donahue, May 27th, Cody Cannon, May 28th, and Midland, June 10th.
They're not having any more cancel now. The COVID's pretty well over, so nobody's canceling at all, right?
Not that we have seen.
Okay.
So, that's it.
What hours are you gonna be out at the,
It's Saturday from 11 to 3?
2.
11 to 2?
3, 11, 3.
Same on Sunday?
Correct.
Yes. Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 3. And we would love for any of y'all to come out there and join us.
Peanuts are coming. I gotta tell you, I'll say this in closing for you adjourn. I stand corrected. That little squishy peanut, it was the most popular handout at that show in Rogers. Everybody came walking around asking for those things by the end of the last half of the first day. I missed that one. You guys have got a good one on your hand right there. That's what we're taking with us for travel days or tourism days up there. It's a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question before you sit down, please, sorry. So, just looking at the Discover Durant website, I don't want to take up too much time, but, so do we reach out to these people to get put on here, or do they like typically hit us up?
It's both. If they are a business in Durant, we try really hard just to, when we're driving around, put businesses in as we see them and as we know them. Because, I mean, the only stipulation is you're just a business in Durant. Now, of course, we miss some and, they call us and we put them on, and we enjoy that because we get to get a little more contact information for them that way as well. So, I mean, it's both.
Okay, I was just
Okay.
curious, I mean, not just looking at it, there's a decent amount of spread. I mean,
Yeah.
the restaurants, the hotels, I mean, it's got them all. Well, it's got a bunch, and obviously not everything in town's on here, obviously.
But the more we put on there, the more people will be impressed because
Yeah, it needs
some of
to,
the
yeah.
things that, we got an outfitter coming in now for sports and all that nobody knows about. But I'm just talking about some of these things are specific for some people that are in this town. We have so much in these shopping centers, it's amazing.
Mhm.
Right.
okay, any new business?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Trustee Anthony, yes. Trustee Calhoun?
Yes.
Trustee Shattuck?
Yes.
Trustee Thorpe?
Yes.
Trustee Walker?
Yes.
Chairman Shear.
Yes.
Man, that's good. That looks good. We need to do this every time, don't we, Jeff?
Yeah.